My name is Tudor Bratu. I am a Romanian-Dutch artist, or Dutch-Romanian artist, whichever how you want to read it. And I think that's a good starting point for any introduction, in the sense that during my years of living in both Romania and Holland, I have realized that my position is kind of extraordinary as coming from two different cultural backgrounds, so a Romanian and the Dutch one. I moved to Holland when I was 9, and from around my 18th birthday I started to have a major interest in art, which was basically photography to begin with. For that I did the Rietveld Academy in Amsterdam and afterwards the Rijksacademy, and I've been practicing as an artist for something like 10 years already, which is going quite good. And yeah, that's it. The beautiful thing in life is that when something really bad happens, something beautiful can come out of it. So last year in March, after I finished the Rijksacademy, my grandfather died and he left me a house, which was, it is a very, let's say, old house from the 1920s that he built himself when he was young. Very nicely located, big garden with some fruit trees. Well, and I was thinking, also based on my experience within the Rijksacademy, which is of course a very interesting artist in residence place, very valuable for people there, how I can use that gift, let's say, in a positive way. So I was thinking also, since I know quite a few artists, but there is kind of a necessity for artists to travel around and see new places, meet new people, and expand their network in as many different directions as possible. So I feel that necessity as an artist myself, and my colleagues do too. And I also knew that Romania is kind of lacking in artist initiatives at the moment. This due to kind of, well, fast-growing capitalism, which makes a lot of things impossible. Squatting is not allowed, as for example in Holland was the case, so you can have like a lot of things going on because of that. So I thought that Bucharest would be a good place. After that, so this idea grew. I started to renovate the place. Of course, it had to be like properly taken care of. That's done now. It's good. Mm-hmm. And I started to kind of spread the word amongst my network from the Rijksacademy and from beyond that, just to see if there is an actual interest for Romania, for Bucharest, and for the rest of the country. And to my surprise, already 12 artists have visited me from March last year till now, which is quite a lot. It's actually, sorry, not March last year, March this year. From this March till now. And that worked out quite fine. So yeah, I mean, people like Nicoline van Harskamp, who won the Prix de Rome in 2009, was there. We co-produced the work. So basically I co-produced it with her. It was a new performance piece. Zachary Formwald has visited, Bertien van Manen, who worked on a new photo series. Oh yes, Omer Krieger from Public Movement, Israel Arts Group. Well, so people like this. Yeah. Well, I mean, the basic idea started just to provide people with a place to live and work in Bucharest. So the residency does not provide funding at this moment because that's just not there. And it was so far a test case. So I was very interested in seeing how it can function within the Romanian context. And if it is possible, for example, even without funding, just having the place to provide people with a proper working environment. So to get them connected to the local scene. So meeting curators in Romania, meeting other artists, expanding the network. Yeah. Also having them integrate in the local artist community, which I do. For example, I have not charged any money for the residency, so people can stay for free. But I did ask every artist that visited to either do a small workshop at the Art Academy or give a lecture. That's kind of a big necessity in Romania at the moment to well, basically have education within the Art Academy and have foreign artists come talk to the students, let's say. And that worked out quite nicely. And There were some people that were just basically curious to visit Romania for the first time and to see what's going on in the place. And there were also people that came with a proper working plan and an idea and just basically started out working immediately. So Nicolene was working to produce a piece for the Bucharest Biennial in 2010. And we basically produced that. She visited 3 times and basically did all the work there. Bertine from Mano was working on a new photo series, so she would just go and take pictures and stuff, and I would show her through the country. We did a drive, like a driving tour through Romania. And well, Zachary it was the first time in Eastern Europe, although his work is closely linked to some kind of Marxist ideas and these kind of questions. So for him it was very interesting to see the place, and we also went to Moldova on a road trip, went to Ukraine afterwards. So yeah, and well, right now, let's say there's like a turning point, because you always start out as a small artist initiative, but then slowly either you kind of grow and move into a direction which is a bit more solid, or not. Or not is not really an option for me, because I think it really is a valuable place within Romania. And I think people actually can really manage to find good things there, which they can use for their work.
Yeah.
So I have to see how it goes, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Before I started working in Bucharest, I was not so closely connected with the Romanian scene. So I knew some bigger names like Dan Perzowski and things like this, and I had participated in one biennial, but that was about it. And right now, I mean, there was a period of developing these things, and right now I'm collaborating with Alina Șerban, who she's the director of Center for Visual Introspection, which is based in Bucharest. And she was the curator of Venice Pavilion of Romania in 2009. And we are collaborating on one hand on a project that we're producing together, which is going to be my new work. And on the other hand, we are trying to see how the residency idea and the project space that she's running can combine. So, for example, Omer Krieger was invited by Alina Șerban, who curated him into a show, which is going to take place next year. But Omer's work is based on public performances and public displays, so he needed quite, let's say, to investigate Bucharest. And then the idea of having a residency and the infrastructure from that kind of works out. So he could stay at my place, you know, we just talked about Bucharest and saw some things together and things like this. And basically he just prepared his work in this time. And on the other hand, I'm teaching and organizing workshops in the Art Academy in Bucharest. And that's the other side of the connection, because then you more or less can stay in touch with a new generation of artists and also have foreign guests visit and interact, mix with it. Well, as far as I'm concerned, because I have, let's say, a very Dutch mentality on one hand, which is to be quite decent about things. So I didn't start out by announcing a residency. I started out by announcing to a few people, you know, I want to do that, I want to give it a try. So if you want, let's see. And I think that's a good way to go about it, because you don't pressure things, and if it's not happening, it's not happening. But if it does, it's even more valuable, because it grows out of it on its own account, let's say. So I would really say, basically, yeah, if you have an idea, do it. You know, just go for it, and it's going to be okay. So there are some people that I really want to invite myself. I'm not a curator. I don't want to be a curator. That's not my intention. But there are people that I would really like to invite, because I really like the work, and I think it can very well fit within the Romanian context. But everybody else, everyone that has been there so far, invited themselves. So they just knew that there was this possibility, and we knew each other more or less. And within this open kind of structure, I said, well, listen, I need to do this and this, or I just want to come to visit, or I have a project and I need your help. And then we talked about it and we got things done. So yeah, I think, I mean, I really like to have a very open structure, although I think it is also important to try to work with serious artists. So people that have a very clear idea about what they're doing. And this is also because I'm an artist myself, I'm not a manager in that sense. So if people are not really sure on what their interest is, it becomes a bit more difficult to work, let's say. Yeah, but I think it's good to have it as an open structure. Well, I mean, come to Romania.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good place for any kind of artist. I think it's an extremely rich culture, both in social-political sense, in contemporary developments, as well as in a historical sense, so in the sociology of what has been. The landscape is amazing, so you have from the Black Sea up to mountains of 3,000 kilometers up, 3,000 meters up. You can ski, you can sunbathe, etc. And you can really work a lot. So there are a lot of things to do, especially in the field of public art, which is just beginning. And one of the nicest things is it's a very relaxed or easygoing country to produce work in. So you can find good materials and good quality help, good actors for performances, things like this. And there is another richness which I think is in terms of the people who are very open to communicate and also feel the need to do so. So basically you're never alone, you can always interact and have good conversations. So yeah, come to Romania.